Wamego's Caterpillar facility will close next year. The closure will happen in mid-2025, according to a company spokesperson late Thursday. In an official statement, the company said, quote, to better utilize capacity and ensure alignment with the company's long-term strategy, Caterpillar today notified its workforce at its Wamego facility that it will close in mid-2025. This facility manufactures work tools and attachments. The company says it will support employees during the transition. The company currently employs over 450 people in the state of Kansas. A KBI officer was injured in a search conducted early Thursday morning in Shawnee County for an investigation into alleged child sexual abuse material. Officers from the KBI Northeast Child Victims Task Force, along with the KBI Cybercrime Unit and Rossville Police, conducted the search warrant just after 6:30 yesterday morning at the home in Rossville. Authorities allege the suspect, 55-year-old John Ross, bit a KBI agent while he was being detained. That agent was treated and released. Ross was also hospitalized for minor injuries and later released to the Shawnee County Detention Center, where he's currently being held on charges of aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer and obstruction. Authorities also reportedly found drug paraphernalia inside the home. The investigation into child sexual abuse materials remains ongoing. Riley County Commissioners on Thursday authorized its IT department to spend a little more than $60,000 for a pair of network area storage devices. IT Director Corey Myers says the purpose is for storing backup data for the growing county.
The actual device we have now is full. We're doing an overflow to a secondary device, but we just need to stay ahead of the growth of Riley County and our data.
He says the reason to get two devices is because the device the county currently uses for disaster recovery at its public works facility has been undersized for a while.
Areas of, the new EMS building, elections, rules and regulations coming through for elections and our retention times on those. And some of those are very lengthy, 18 months to even 2 years on some of the things that we have to store and have readily available in case we're audited. So this is critical infrastructure for Riley County and what we do.
The purchase includes 3 years of support and service necessary for setup, along with data transfer. Thursday marked 80 years since the Allied D-Day invasion at Normandy, France. Ceremonies marking the historic World War II event were held across the country and in France. Here locally, Governor Laura Kelly spoke at a ceremony outside the Eisenhower Library and Museum in Abilene, noting her own father's service in World War II.
Growing up as the daughter of a career Army officer and spending my childhood on Army posts all over the United States, in Germany and in Japan, instilled in me a deep respect and admiration for the men and women of our military from a very early age.
Thursday's ceremony included World War II veterans on hand and others marking that historic event. Sunset Zoo hosted a celebration Thursday for one of their most popular animals, Susie the chimp. Lots of folks came out. K-Man's Peter Rice was out there and has the story.
Sunset Zoo's beloved female chimpanzee named Susie celebrated her 70th birthday on Thursday. Zoo marketing officer Melissa Kirkwood explained why Susie's birthday is so important.
We want to celebrate her because it is very, very significant. Susie is the oldest living chimpanzee in human care, known to human care. So we've had Susie for a very long time.
Susie came to the Sunset Zoo back in 1974, and she far exceeds the lifespan of chimps in the wild, which averages around 40 years. Kirkwood says the expertise and consistency of zoo staff has greatly helped Susie. Susie once gave birth at the age of 56, which was previously thought of as impossible for chimps to reproduce at such an old age. And for News Radio KMAN, I'm Peter Rice.
As renovations near completion at the Lincoln Education Center, the former Manhattan High East Campus building, USD 383 district officials are making plans for the soon-to-be-vacated Robinson Education Center. Superintendent Eric Reed told school board members Wednesday that the goal of that space is to extend some of Manhattan High's alternative programs, such as its night school. The district could also allow local therapists to use the building to provide services conveniently close to Manhattan High.
Maybe you're not going down to Katie's Way for a therapy session and forget to come back. We can get down the hill a lot easier than we can get back up the hill sometimes. So being able to walk across the street to do what we need to do. So being able to serve those kids in some ways. But basically, alternative programs make an extension of Manhattan High School.
Renovations at the Robinson Center will be the final piece of the district's bond projects that were approved by voters in late 2018. The district anticipates bidding out the project later this summer. Downtown Manhattan will be hosting a special art event this evening. Event manager Heather Nisdell explains.
We've got our next art show is put up currently in the gallery spaces, our downtown non-traditional art spaces. Friday at 5:30 is our opening reception for a show that we've titled Farrago, which just means like a random assortment.
The art show was created by 5 ladies who were short on space and decided to combine all the work together. That work will be up through the end of July. Admission is free to attend tonight's event.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines on K-Man's Morning News. The pursuit of a College World Series berth for K-State continues tonight as the Super Regionals open, with K-State facing Virginia in Game 1 of that best-of-3 in Charlottesville.
The Super setup is just what we do every weekend in the Big 12. You try to win a series, and we're fortunate to play in a great conference that's prepared us to go on the road and play a great program against a great coaching staff. And that's a simple goal, right? We're just going to go win a series.
Pete Hughes' team swept through the regionals in Fayetteville last weekend to set up the matchup against one of the top offensive teams in the nation.
They're hitting like 338 as a team. That's a crazy number. They have a great hitting coach, Kevin McMullen, that's been there forever. His system has proven to work. It's a year in, year out, and even when the personnel changes, those numbers are always the same. They're athletic. They can beat you in a lot of ways. They can steal bases. You have to work your way through the entire lineup 1 through 9. There's some power in there, too.
The Cats will call upon Owen Borma first to counter that offensive attack tonight.
Personally, I've played a lot of baseball, and I came to Kansas State for that reason, to go to Omaha and to help this program go to Omaha. So it'd just be a culmination of both a lot of team and personal goals.
Game time tonight at 6. Coverage on News Radio KMAN gets underway at 5:30. Tomorrow afternoon's second game of the best-of-3 is set for a 2 o'clock start with coverage at 1:30 on KMAN. Oklahoma slugged its way to a record 4th straight NCAA softball title last night, getting a go-ahead bases-clearing double from Sidney Sanders and besting the Longhorns 8-4 for a sweep of the WCWS. The Sooners won their 8th title overall, moving into a tie with Arizona for second most in softball, behind UCLA's 12. Kyle Isbell hit a tie-breaking RBI single in the 8th inning yesterday afternoon, scoring Adam Frazier, as the Royals beat the AL Central leading Guardians 4-3. Frazier doubled off Hunter Gaddis with 2 outs, and Isbell followed with a liner to right.
First pitch from Gaddis. Fastball ripped into right field, base hit. Frazier takes off for third. Wilson waves him around. Brennan's throw the plate on a bounce, not in time. Frazier slides in feet first and safe. Kyle Isbell gives the Royals the lead. It's 4-3 in the top of the 8th inning.
The Royals pulled to within 4 games of Cleveland in the division, winning for the 3rd time in 10 games dating back to May 25th. Tonight, Daniel Lynch goes to the mound for the Royals, facing Mariners right-hander Bryce Miller as Kansas City opens a 7-game homestand. Chiefs reserve defensive lineman B.J. Thompson was taken to a hospital in stable condition yesterday after suffering a cardiac event during a team meeting, according to a person familiar with the association. That person, speaking to the AP on the condition of anonymity, said trainers and medical staff were able to react quickly and treat Thompson until paramedics arrived. The Chiefs had planned to wrap up their voluntary off-season workouts yesterday, but a team spokesman said that the practice would be pushed to today. That's also when Chiefs coach Andy Reid and players are to speak to reporters. The 27-year-old Thompson was a 5th-round draft choice of the Chiefs out of Stephen F. Austin in last year's draft. The only game he appeared in was the regular season finale against the Chargers, when Kansas City already had clinched a playoff spot. Thompson finished with 2 tackles in that game. A year's absence is all it will be for the 2A state basketball tournament, as the KSHSAA yesterday announced that Manhattan and K-State's Bramlage Coliseum will again serve as hosts for the annual affair this coming season. Scheduling conflicts with K-State basketball forced the move of the tournament last year, sending it to Dodge City. United Wireless Arena will again be the home to 1A-D1. Colby will take over the 1A-D2 tournament next year. Wichita, Emporia, Salina, and Hutchinson are again in place for their traditional slots, hosting 6 through 3A, respectively. Jaylen Brown scored 22 points. Kristaps Porzingis made an immediate impact off the bench and added 20 as the Celtics powered past the Mavericks 107-89 in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Boston led by 29 at one point in the first half, and Joe Mazzulla's team held off a Mavs rally in the third to hold on to the lead.
It's the NBA Finals. You're playing against a great team, and they're going to make runs. And so just building awareness to why the run was made. And, that team does a great job of making defensive adjustments on the fly. And sometimes it takes us a possession or two to recognize that. And so just understanding the run, what can we do to change it? And, how can we just get better coming out of that?
Dallas cut the deficit to 8 in the third quarter before Boston answered with a 14-0 run to quickly pull away. Luka Doncic led Dallas with 30 points. Game 2 is Sunday in Boston. The Lakers' reported plan to offer a massive contract to UConn coach Dan Hurley is the latest twist in the month-long race to replace Darvin Ham. ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski says Hurley has been the top choice, even as rumors of other potential candidates have been floating around.
There's always been a chance that they won't get Dan Hurley, and they're going to have to hire somebody else as their head coach. But they've been focused on Hurley, and they are hopeful here in the next several days or few days they can close a deal with Dan Hurley, bring him to the Lakers.
Hurley has led UConn to back-to-back titles at the NCAA level. Former NBA player J.J. Redick and ex-Charlotte coach James Borrego are also reportedly candidates. K-State baseball in the Super Regionals tonight as the Cats match up with Virginia in Charlottesville just after 6. Coverage to begin at 5:30. The game will precede it, starting at 4 on News Radio KMAN.